This week, something incredible happened. An encounter that will inevitably change my life forever, bringing me one step closer to build bridges of cultural understanding and mutual exchange that will undoubtedly enrich my experiences of the world in ways that I can possibly begin to imagine. Nothing could ever be the same again, as I leave my innocence behind to embrace a brave new world of chance encounters and exotic experiences. This is the story of how I met my first Karen. It all started on a Saturday like any other. A notification appeared on my YouTube feed. Miss Tamisha Iman, our true and only goddess, went live on Friday night to kiki with us common mortals. Of course I was late, but when blessed with such grace, one can only learn to shut the fuck up and be eternally grateful. As I listened to the goddess, letting every sentence caress my ear, sipping every word like fine wine, only a handful of steps away from nirvana, she suddenly addresses some criticism from other Rue girls.
It's okay for me to call me ugly. There are a lot of reviews of the show by former Drag Race girls as if they were sickening the first time around. And you was not. So, girl, to sit up and read the girls that put together their drag package during a pandemic, that means the world was closed. Really don't understand what empathy is and humility is.
As you can imagine, I was in complete shock, and I did something no one is ever supposed to do. Not in real life, not on the internet, not on social media, and especially not on YouTube, where everyone knows the comment section is rigorously reserved for clever puns and remarks on how the algorithm brought us all together. I voiced my opinion. I should have known better. But in the heat of the moment, armed with the best broken English that I could summon in such troubled state of mind, I complimented the goddess for reading those bitches to filth without even trying. Me, of course, being devoid of such grace and class, resorted to use the G word. And even if that wasn't enough, I call those reviews worse than shards, which in truth it's kind of offensive to shards, I know. Those can be incredibly useful. As you know, even a small sample can give you a ton of precious information. You can analyze it, you can centrifuge it, stain it, you can take a sample, cultivate it in a petri dish, get all sort of insights on your gut's flora. And as you know, half of the neurons in your body are assembled around your guts, which incidentally also explains why the mental processes of some of those people can be best defined as mental farts. I can't even begin to describe the unusefulness of some Drag Race related content. Minutes upon minutes, hours upon hours of nothingness, except the endless and not so sudden glorification of everything that World of Wonder happens to shit after a quick trip to eat
Mexican.
God forbid that any of those actually review anything, build anything, or question anything. Going with the narrative and colluding with the system is the name of the game. That's your quality content right there. A circle of referential bullshit in the name of a small check and maybe the future possibility of working for exposure or maybe even peanuts if you're lucky. Where engagement is the only food you need to survive and empathy is nothing more than a liability. Just put your head in the sand and every problem will just disappear. There, I said it in one sentence. No need to have a whole series about it anymore. The key word is shying away from ever mentioning the fact that our entertainers get routinely thrown under the bus, misrepresented, exaggerated, or to put it in contract terms, dramatized. Left alone to fend for themselves in a social media world routinely gaslit for clicks and engagements. Where the ignorance of many could easily bankrupt the queen, leave her out of a job, challenge her mental health, rob her of the ability to survive in a world where social presence is 95% of your business, strangled under a contract with more twists and turns than a duck's penis, unable to speak under the threat of being liable for millions of dollars, knowing that what happened to them is wrong, while being forced to go along with it anyway, because there's simply no other possible choice. If you speak out, you're simply done. So bring out your best smile and take it up the ass like a man. That's some crazy Harvey Weinstein kind of bullshit right there. But as those who spoke out, and see the marvels that opened up for them because they dared call shit for what it is. Ask Max, ask Pearl, ask Fifi O'Hara, the Vixen, Pheromone. That's the system this Rugal's reviews are colluding with. I'm not saying they should actively call out World of Wonder on the pile of shit that they've been doing for years, but at least don't add to the fucking problem by pushing narratives disguised as quality content. Calling those reviews garbage is too much of a compliment if you ask me. But I digress. Fast forward to this week, and a notification appears. Enter, supposedly Karen. As an European, everything I know about Karens comes from the internet memes, Wikipedia, and that time Gigi Good mentioned her during Snatch Game. I think I have a basic grasp of the concept, but lacking first-hand experience, there's really no way to know for sure, and I can only admit my ignorance, ask for forgiveness, and strive to become a better person. But supposedly Karen is here to make it clear. She's gonna let me have it. She demands to know who I am referring to, but doesn't ask directly like any other common peasant. Instead, she resorts to a more indirect approach, which makes me think she might be a slightly advanced iteration of Karen. She names two queens, and not just any queen. One is clearly not even being cast of the show.
Choices.
Then she proceeds to misconstrue my comment as if it was referred to the people behind those reviews instead of the content itself. What I find incredible is that she didn't even bother to watch the video before rushing to the comment section looking for an easy fight.
Reviews of the show by former Drag Race girls as if they were sickening the first time around.
So things are starting to look promising. All is set up and the trap is laid. I just need a little bit of incentive to buy into the narrative that she carefully crafted to steal the precious excuse that she needs to lash at me with the fury of 1,000 hurricanes. If I fail to explain myself, she will stop consuming my content. Being gifted with superior power of understanding, allegedly Karen knows that threatening to unsubscribe will definitely seal the deal. After watching hours upon hours of my content, she couldn't escape the only logical conclusion that I'm here for making a buck at the expense of everything and everyone. The light of the truth is shining upon me with the strength of 1,000 energy-saving lamps. Of course, being able to rely on the computing power of more than 2 neurons, I see the trap ahead of me. But I'm strangely intrigued and fascinated. What's going on here? Who is this woman? Could she be the one? So, armed with expectations and trembling with excitement, I jump over the trap with the agility and lightness of a gazelle who just received a good enema and proceed to engage, supposedly Karen. Being gifted with the attention she sought, allegedly Karen reinforces the narrative by deflecting my attack right back at me, and then doubles down. No one can use the G word to criticize content posted on the platform. That's clearly hate speech, and I should be jailed for expressing my opinion in such aggressive tone. I'm clearly unhealthy and should be shamed for using the G word while hiding behind anonymity. As if wishing not to have imbeciles literally destroy your life, take you out of a job, harass you for years to come just because you dared expressing your opinion in no uncertain terms without even naming names, it's something that you should be ashamed of. It is my understanding that one of the features of Karen is trying to police everything and everyone to align the world to their own specific perception of what is right and what is wrong. And at this point, I have little doubts anymore. She must be the one. After years on the platform, dozens of videos, thousands of comments, I finally lost my Karen virginity. And not just anywhere, lo and behold, but in the comment section of a Tamisha Iman video. So I thank Karen for giving me the experience of a lifetime and send her on her way in a world of content creation devoid of my presence. But Karen invested her precious time and resources in this convo, and she's not gonna let it go so easily. Funny how no matter who you're talking to, no matter the topic, circumstances, age, or culture, 95% of the people who can't have a normal conversation will either respond to your criticism with accusing you of the same thing or simply by saying no. Ignorance really is the greatest unifying achievement of our generation. She continues by summoning the stereotype of putting down people to elevate others, which I'm sure she's extremely familiar with, even though there's no context whatsoever for that. But she already inevitably lost me. I shy away from the conversation. Having reached my sought after apex, I'm left with nothing more to say or to do, except rushing to the world with pride and excitement to announce that I might have just lost my Karen virginity, and nothing will ever be the same.